To the parents of the 290 million children diagnosed with mental disorders in the world today, this message is for you. How to Live Stress and Anxiety Free 24 hours a day is a new book to the market teaching children that their feelings and emotions are their God-given instincts. And in the face of any danger, real or imaginary, they are to trust their feelings, trust their emotions, and take whatever action feels appropriate. So when your child feels anxious, stressed, depressed, angry, mad, sad, glad, frustrated, confused, lost, alone, abandoned, whatever the feeling, whatever the emotion is, they are to take some form of action. The 4 actions are fight, flight, freeze, and acceptance. You are the first line of defense in protecting the future of our human race, protecting our children, letting them know that their feelings and emotions are God-given instincts, that they are not mental disorders. And if you can create a space in your home that maybe once a day, for 1 hour, you can teach the children to practice the 4 different responses. So when it comes to flight, allow your children to run into their bedroom and hide for 15 minutes. Let them run to the spare room or the bathroom, to run outside into the back garden, to hide under the table, hide behind the couch or behind the door, to allow them to run outside and hide behind a hedge or up a tree. For 15 minutes they can run and hide anywhere, and you're going to allow them to run and hide. And then after 15 minutes have them come back in and discuss what it felt like to run away in the face of a danger. Maybe have them think about a thought normally that would trigger them, that would make them feel worried, anxious, whatever that feeling is, and they get them to run away and be safe in that moment. And then maybe for the next 15 minutes teach them how to fight, which would be like not confrontational fisticuffs, but teach them how to maybe write a letter to somebody. A really cool exercise is have them write a letter to God with their dominant hand. Dear God, love the name of your son or daughter. Write a letter. It can be an angry letter at God. It can be a sad, it can be a blaming, shame, whatever. Write a letter to God, giving out to him if need be. And then turn the page over and write with the non-dominant hand, the hand they don't normally write with, to your son or daughter, and the bottom, love God. And when they write with their non-dominant hand, it triggers their subconscious mind to write something that isn't from them. So when they write, it's very difficult writing with the non-dominant hand. It looks like it's an old person writing, but what they write won't be from their conscious mind, it'll be from their subconscious mind. And they may get an answer that they weren't expecting. And again, they could share this letter with you, or if they felt safer doing it, allow them to free them to maybe burn it into a bin and then discard it. So have a box of matches or a lighter handy and let them know that when they finish it, that you as parents and your child can discuss it, or if it's better for them, you can tear it up and burn it and just keep it a secret. But they learn to flight and fight. And then for freeze, the best form of freeze is teaching your child it's okay to disassociate. It's not a fearful, cowardly, or less of a man to run away and hide or to disassociate. They're the best coping skills that a child might have in a situation. Most children are much smaller than the adults around them and they can't defend themselves. And if they're very young, they're not allowed to leave the house so they can't run away. So the safest coping skill for a child is to disassociate. So again, for 15 minutes, allow your child to drift off into a fantasy world. Let them sit where they're sitting and go into a fantasy world where they just leave the room mentally. They're still there sitting in front of you, but they leave the room mentally and emotionally. And they go to their dream world, someplace they feel safe. Maybe from a gaming, from a movie. It might be something to do with Avatar or something about the nature up in the mountains or swimming with dolphins. Allow them to, for 15 minutes, experience a fantasy where they're safe and secure in that space. And then after 15 minutes, have them come back into the room and talk to you about how that felt and of the fight, flight and freeze, which felt the safest for them. And the final response is acceptance. Now, in my day, and probably in your day too, we had God in our lives. We had God in the church and home and school. And we learned about God an awful lot. So we had always an understanding that God is always there watching over us. But children nowadays, there's no God in school, there's no God in the community. And it's very hard for children to understand it. So it's up to you to teach the children that God is real and he cares about them. And if they give their troubles to God, he will protect them. He will get them through whatever is happening. It may not go exactly as they wanted, but they'll get through. They'll get through to the end of the day. They'll sleep, they wake up the next morning, and it's a new day, a new dawn. So you teach them for 15 minutes to do a prayer where they say, okay, Lord, I've carried this cross since the day I was born, and like your son, Jesus, I have faltered more than once. All the fears and anxieties of the past weigh heavily upon me, and all the fears and anxieties of the future weigh heavily upon me, and I want to give them all to you now. And all this childhood and all the troubles at school, I give them all to you now so I can be free for the next 10, 15, 20 minutes. And then let them ask for 15 minutes and be free for 15 minutes and see how that felt to have free for 15 minutes because God had taken all the troubles from them. And get them to practice every day these different responses. So one day they may write a letter, another day they may send an email to somebody, another day they may scream and shout, another day they may run down the road, run over to their grandmother's, run to the neighbour's house, run out and play, go and have a swim, go and have a shower. You teach them all these many different ways of trusting their emotions and feelings and using their emotions and feelings and using the 4 responses to danger. And by the end of maybe a week or a month, your children now trust their emotions. And then they realize they don't have mental disorders, that it's okay to be anxious, it's okay to be depressed, it's okay to be angry, sad, glad, it's okay to be frustrated or feel abandoned or betrayed. It's all part of being human. We learn from our mistakes, we learn from our feelings and emotions what it is to be human. And by taking healthy responses to these situations, we learn from our practice how to be better at what we're doing. And this book, How to Live Stress and Anxiety Free 24 hours a day, is a very simple process. It has about 10 or 12 different exercises for children and you, the parents, to practice together, to let children understand that their feelings and emotions are their best coping skills, that in any moment of any time of their day, they trust their feelings. If the feelings say, run away, or they're walking down a dark alley and the feelings say, stop, don't go any further, they stop and don't go any further. If they wake up and they feel really scared of going to school and they want to stay in bed, they stay in bed. They may get into trouble with you about it, they may have to explain themselves, but they must trust their feelings. As long as they don't harm themselves or another person, they can't go wrong. You're in your classroom and they feel unsafe in the classroom. Maybe they've been bullied by a teacher or by a fellow pupil. They get up and leave the classroom. They go to the principal's office or they come home. And of course, you're going to notice what's going on. You're going to confront the teacher. You're going to confront the principal, what's going on, and something will be sorted. But they can't stay in the suffering. They must learn to get up and walk away. And if you can teach them by offering them a 1-hour practice of 4 15-minute exercises every evening even for a month, your children will be transformed into complete, independent, confident human beings. This is the future of the human race. It's down to you, parents of those 290 million children diagnosed with mental disorders, to help them heal completely, be restored to sanity. Thank you very much.